Five news reporters killed in Gaza. JLP on bus tour seeking supporters, while three injured in shooting in Waterford. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Four Al Jazeera journalists and one freelancer were killed in the Gaza Strip yesterday. The Israeli military alleged that Anas al-Sharif, a prominent face on the Qatar-based network covering the violence, headed a Hamas terrorist cell and was responsible for advancing rocket attacks against Israelis. State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce told reporters she voiced respect for journalists who cover war zones, but said that Hamas members have been embedded in society, including posing as journalists. European Arab governments, the United Nations, and media rights groups all voice outrage over the killing. Over in Jamaica, rideshare drivers are upset with the authorities in Jamaica, claiming that their vehicles are being seized because they do not have the PPV license. Rideshare owners are saying that their not taxis are not willing to brand their vehicle as such or to change their private vehicle's license to taxi plates. They say their vehicle uses an app and operate as a private carrier, not as a taxi. The Transport Authority does not speak specifically to rideshare apps. However, it makes provisions for inspectors to seize a vehicle being operated or used as a public passenger vehicle without a license for such activities. 2 days after announcing the date for the general elections, Jamaica Labour Party leader and Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness embarked on a bus tour of Manchester to drum up support for the JLP. Dr. Holness promised that the JLP will be promoting its achievement in a bid to woo potential voters in the lead up to the September 3rd poll. The candidates of both political parties have been hitting the trail as they try to convince voters who to choose in the election, and both parties said they are confident of victory. Meanwhile, Jamaica Labour Party Campaign Committee Chairman Dr. Christopher Tufton has declared that he is not intimidated by threats of legal action while insisting that a recording of retired legal counsel KD Knight that was played at the party mass rally on Sunday was not doctored. According to Mr. Knight, the recording made it seem as though he didn't think Mark Golding, the president of the People's National Party, could govern Jamaica. And because of the recording's airing, he has vowed to sue Dr. Tufton and the JLP. Responding yesterday morning, however, Dr. Tufton remained steadfast in his statement that his allegation was true, stating that Mr. Knight's remarks were made during the PNP's internal presidential challenge in September of 2019. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education has announced that schools will reopen as scheduled on September 1st, despite the parliamentary general elections being scheduled for September 3rd. The ministry says schools to be used as polling stations will close at noon on September 2nd, while all schools will close on September 3rd to facilitate the elections. School will resume the following day using a mix of online and face-to-face teachings with full face-to-face resumption on September 5th. Three people were injured on Monday's shooting in Waterford in St. Catherine, including an elderly couple. An 18-year-old man who seems to have been the shooter's target is among those injured. According to reports, the victim and a male companion were sitting on a roof on Kelmer Way at approximately 8:45 p.m. when a masked man brandishing a gun approached them and started shooting, wounding him in the back. The wounded man was rushed to hospital where he was admitted in serious but stable condition. And after the shooting, it was also discovered that a man and a woman in their 70s had also been shot in the head and arm while they sat at the front of their house, and they are both being treated at hospital. Onto sports, Kishane Thompson clocked 9.95 seconds to retain his men's 100 meters title at the Istvan Gulam Memorial at the National Athletics Center in Budapest, Hungary yesterday. Thompson was one of three Jamaicans, also including Brian Level and Ashanti Moore, in the men and women's 200 meters to win at the World's Athletics Continental Tour Gold event. The Olympic Games silver medalist who was racing in the 100 meters for the first time in over a month powered his way to the finish line to beat Ghana's Abdul Rashim Saminu and South Africa's Akina Simbine, both of whom were timed at 10.1 seconds. Jamaicans Akeem Blake was fourth in 10.04 seconds, while Cadian Goldsmith came sixth in 10.08 seconds, and Rohan Watson seventh in 10.12. Meanwhile, Jamaica's Tina Clayton, Hansel Parchment, and Achilles Smith all finished second in their event. Clayton was just edged at the line by Ivory Coast Marie Jose Talou Smith, who ran 10.97 seconds to the Jamaican national champion 10.99. Sharika Jackson was third with 11 seconds, and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, running for the first time since the national championship in late June, was fifth with 11.07 seconds. Crystal Slowly finished eighth with 11.28. Schoolboy football Manning Cup champion Kingston College are bracing for a tough season ahead, but head coach Vassal Reynolds said that they are prepared to fight to the end of their bid to retain the title. KC, who will be seeking their 18-hole on the trophy, defeated St. Catherine 3-1 in last year's final to lift the title. However, they entered a new campaign this year without several key players, including last year's MVP Chris Paul, Damian Smith, Demario Daly, and Malik Williams. But because of the type of sports program at the school, they always have people on the bench who can step up to those who leave, according to the coach. And that's gonna be news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.